Okay, what's going on? Sweet. Looks like we're live. Famous thing you have to say on every live stream once it looks like you're live. Sound's coming through too. Good deal. Mute that so I don't drive myself insane. Stream is pretty laggy, but that's alright. Cool. So today, I guess I should say welcome if you are watching this and this is your first time. I'm Nick Bovey. This is actually my first time doing a live stream on YouTube. I've been doing a few other ones on a few different platforms. Just trying different ones out to see which one's the host with the most. Today I'm looking at FreeCodeCamp. I'm going to be going through I'm going to be going through their functional. I actually just went through their object-oriented programming section, and I'm going to be going through the functional programming section. And I'm not really sure. I don't know if this is going to be helpful to anyone, but a buddy of mine was talking about how he thought it might help with accountability to do some live streaming, and I completely agree with him. And so I'm kind of just trying it out to help further my own education. But in the meantime, I'm going to be trying to kind of go through each concept and explain in my own words what's going on with each of these steps. So if you haven't used FreeCodeCamp and you're trying to learn how to code, I would highly recommend it. Along with a few other resources such as Code Academy and Team Treehouse, FreeCodeCamp was really something that set me on my way, and I would argue probably is one of the reasons I got the job that I have now. So let's get started. I think what I'm going to do is, it might be a little boring, but I'm going to probably just skim read and then kind of give like a brief little introduction, I guess, to each little module. And then I'll try to do my very best to talk through my thought process on each of these challenges. And some of them probably won't even be that challenging. A lot of times it's kind of like monkey see, monkey do. So let's get into it, see what we got going on here. Cool. Right. So I've actually looked into functional programming a little bit in the past, so it's not super, I guess, foreign to me. But they basically in this part are covering kind of the main reasons you would want to look at functional programming. One of the big things is testability. So by breaking everything up into small functions, you make your program very testable, which improves the stability of it. The other thing that functional programming, or another big part of functional programming, is each function is going to be like a pure function, so it doesn't rely on any state or anything outside of itself. It's pretty much like every single function is a black box that has a hole on one side and a hole on the other side, and you put something in one side and something else comes out the other side. It doesn't have what are called side effects, so it's not going to log stuff out to the console. It's not going to affect anything else in your code, any other parts of your code that have state and things like that. Let's see. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of what they say here. I probably took way more words to say it, but that's my understanding of functional programming. So let's see what the first lesson is about. They literally say it right here. Functional programming is about isolated functions. So every function doesn't depend. Again, here you have this whole kind of independence of state concept, so they don't want anything to be reliant on anything outside of itself. And functions don't mutate anything outside of themselves, and write pure functions. So I kind of maybe explained that in a confusing way earlier, but pure functions are when everything that goes in always comes out the same way. So an example of that is a function that's not actually talking to any state or anything outside of itself, but ultimately it comes down to every single thing that you put into it should have the same output every single time. There should not be any difference to it. So let's see what they're doing here. So they've got prepare t, get t functions already defined. They're going to call the get t functions. You get 40 cups for the team and store them in a T for team FCC variable. Doke. Code below this line. All right, so T for team FCC. Okay, so they have a function here. So this is really, I think, pretty simple. They want us to use to get 40 cups of tea. So we're going to call the function just by writing it out, and we're going to pass it the argument of the number 40. And this is nice because we can see it consoled out here. We're going to run the test anyway, and there we go. We're on our way. Let's see, next up, understanding the functional programming terminology. What do we got here? Okay, this is kind of cool. T. Yeah, okay. So what they're doing here is they're saying we're going to, instead of just taking a value like they had it before where they were just going to take the number of cups, they're actually going to take a function, and we can, I mean, obviously they tell us right here that it's a function, but we can see that it's a function because it's actually invoked in here. So right here where they have prepare T, they just call it down here, and they're using the bubbles to, or the parentheses to show that it's a function. And it's going to be called in a little bit. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what else we got. Anything else we need to know about this? What's it talking about? Filter, callbacks and functions. Right. Okay, and that's just called a callback when you do that. Functions. Maybe it's function. Alrighty. Alright, so we're doing 27 cups of green tea and 13 cups of black tea. Cool. Alright, and 27 and 13. So green tea is going to be 27, so we're going to call get tea, and then we're going to use the prepare green tea function. And I'm always confused. I never know if it's better in this case to pass in just the name of the constant or the actually call it. I think if you do this, if you put the parentheses right here, it would actually invoke the function, meaning it would execute it right away, which I don't think is what we want. So I'm going to try it that way and see what happens. We just need 27. Cool, and that looks like that worked because we have green tea that's coming out, and then we want 13 cups of black tea. Cool. I think that's what we want. So we're basically just passing these functions in just like they said we would into our getT function, which is setting up an array, and then it's doing some iteration to say how many cups do you want to do. Okay, well, however many that is, we're going to go through and we're going to push this prepared tea cup into this array, and it kind of falls back onto each of these respectively. Let's run the test, make sure that's good. Alrighty. Okay, understanding the hazards of using imperative code. Okay. Browsing the web in your browser, you want to track the tabs you have open. Let's try to model this using object-oriented code. Window object is made up of tabs, and you usually have more than one window open. titles of each open site in each window object is held in an array. After working the browser, open new tabs, merging windows and closing tabs. You want to print the tabs that are still open, closed tabs are removed. Blah, 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 blah. Change window.prototype tab close so that it removes the correct tab. Okay. This seems like a lot, but I don't think it's doing that much. Seems like a lot to look at, but it's not that much. So I guess they're showing, I think they're showing an imperative example. It's always been kind of weird to me. Like, my understanding of imperative is that it's like when you're programming imperatively, you're telling it what you want it to do exactly. Whereas if you're programming declarative, you're kind of letting the program decide for itself or sort of reason about what you intend for it to do. Okay, so they want us to look through and look at the final list of open tabs stored in final tabs.tabs, and they give us this list that it should be. So let's see what's different about it. Twitter, Medium, new tab, Netflix, YouTube, Vine. Oh, here's where it starts to be different. So here it switches away. We're missing a Vine tab in Gmail. We're missing a work tab. Okay. Alright, tab is an array of titles. Window.tabs. You join two windows into one window. Window.prototype.join. It's kind of cool because I think this might actually, this may be how it actually, some of the steps actually how the tabs work. I don't know. I didn't know there was a tabs property. But I learned something new. Browser windows, Gmail, inbox, work mail, docs, FreeCodeCamp. Drive and other work sites. I'll perform the tab opening, closing, and other operations. I see, only change, okay, gotcha, so it's in here. Okay, so we're saying we want the tab to open, so opening a new tab for cat memes. Should be. And then we're using .join to close the third tab in the video window and join. We're consoling out the final tabs. Tab, close. When you close the tab, close function index. Only change, okay. So we're using a splice, getting up to that index. I guess with our index, where are we actually running this? Are we calling this anywhere? Tab close. I don't see us actually perform the tab opening, so it's opening, joining. Huh, but it's, oh, here we go. I see, okay. So we're passing in an index of 1. Okay, gotcha. First we're going to pass in the index of 2. And speak, Reddit, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we're saying we want to close out the third tab with the number 2. Guess. So that's an array. And we're splicing that out. Get the tabs before that tab. 0 to the index. So if it was here, it'd be Gmail and inbox. Then we take the tabs after the inbox, which is splicing the index, plus 1. And then I think when you do that with splice, it just goes to the end. And then we're concatenating the 2. It's a method. It's using a method as side effects in the program. I missing here? Tabs.splice. I'm in a new tab for cat memes. Then they join, and the join is taking other windows. This.tabs equals all the other windows, or the tabs in the other window, and adding it in here. So the third tab in video window and join. YouTube. What am I missing here? Should be FB getter. Find Gmail. Work mail. Okay, I don't really see what's wrong here. If the video window, this guy is taking the tab and closing it onto 012, should be closing Vimeo, right? Yeah, and we see that they have Netflix, YouTube, Vimeo is gone, so that's what it should be doing. But it's not. And I feel like their whole point with this is they're showing that we're creating side effects because each of these functions in here is modifying the tabs part of our object that we're working in. Which I think is why, I guess that's why they're making us do that, because they want to show how bad of an idea it is to program imperatively. Social sites, entertainment sites, video, taking that out. Splice. Tabs.splice the 0th through the index, which is 2. Tab open, social, dot join. How do we join? Is that other window? Okay. The heck? Tabs before index, only change code above this line. It's not tabs, tabs before index. What am I missing here? Missing something. It's gotta be super, super simple, probably. Let's see, just because this often helps out. Oops, helps out a lot. Let's put this guy in here, and that way we can see what's going on. We can kind of get an idea of where this is happening. Alright, so tabs before index, Netflix and YouTube, which is what we have. Then tabs after index, we have nothing. So that's odd. Where is this getting changed? what are we doing with social window? Social window opens a new tab. Tab open, pushing a new tab onto it. Let's see what happens. It's console log. This not tabs. Can I do that? I can't do that, can I? Just do tabs. This dot tabs. Medium. Tabs Gmail. So do we ever have the stuff in the video window come through here? I guess we never open a new tab in here. I don't see this calling tab open on anything. I'm just confused because it seems like before it's even getting into, before the index and I guess before the tab close is being called, it's totally getting destroyed. Let's take a look at this dot tabs. Let's do like tabs before, and then dupe that and do a tabs after. Oops. Tabs after. Oh, that's frustrating. All right, that right there. Oops. Tabs before. YouTube, Netflix, YouTube. Tabs after. Yeah, so again, we don't really see this ever having the stuff that we need. Like it still does not actually have the values that we'd expect. Video window. So there it is. If I look right there, it's fine. And video.tab close .join. So let's maybe take a look at this. I bet this is so, I'm sure there's something I'm missing that's just stupid simple. Maybe the splice syntax is wrong. Hey, that's interesting. So let's get rid of this. I've got to constantly be cleaning up all these console logs. So we can see that when it goes into tab close, it's actually correct. This .tabs is right. And then we go down one more. And now look at that. So something about this method right here is getting really messed up. So I'm going to double check just because I was going to refresh on this and see what the splice method looks like. Excuse me. Pretty much anytime I'm looking at something on MDN, I want to look at the kind of the sample they give, the demo. Excuse me. And let's see what we're doing here. So, splice method changes the context area by removing or replacing existing elements and adding new elements in its place. So it's inserting February into the index 1. Gotcha. So is this even the right splice? Is this even the right thing? Remove 0 elements from the index and insert drum. Here's kind of what they're doing. So they remove 1 element from the index 3. Gotcha. So the index would be here. They're removing 1 element, so you see that it gets taken out of there. So let's see how they're doing it here. So we're saying we want to remove 1 element. So see how this is problematic? The splice method says that this first param is actually the index, and the second one is actually the number of elements that you want to remove. So we know that we're always, well, most of the time probably going to be calling just 1 element. So if we put a 1 in there and do this, let's see if we get, okay, yeah, so now we have the right number of tabs in there. Good. And let's see if that's the right So we're still, something's still wonky here. The tabs after the tab. So what's going on here? I think this is also totally wrong. Console.log. Oops. This looks like it's probably totally wrong. Docs FreeCodeCamp. So it worked here, but it didn't work here. Why not? Let's see why not. Docs +1. Work window. Tab close. So it's saying 1 + 1. And then it's just taking the rest. So what happens if we just get rid of that +1? Is that necessary? Vine. Okay, let's see. No, something's still not right because it's going YouTube. That's probably not it. That was just a shot in the dark. Didn't really think that one through. So what's happening? We've got YouTube that's missing now. Actually, looks like a few things are missing. Like all of the stuff before the index is missing. Right? So where is it going? Is this tabs before index thing actually even working? Tabs before index. Vimeo. One element. Oh, I'm crazy. This is fine. I was totally reading this wrong. We do want this. We want it to take this, and then maybe, is that the problem? It wants the +1. Yeah. What's going on here? Tabs before index, 0 to the index. Right? Netflix, YouTube. This is where it gets weird. Because if you wanted it to seriously remove the right number of elements, get the right number of elements before the index, I would think you would do that +1, because that would mean you get 3 tabs. Tabs before index, blah 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 blah, Vimeo. Okay, then we have Vine on its own, which is the actual index. Tabs after the index, and there are none, so maybe that's part of the issue too. Third tab is Vimeo. Yeah, I'm reading that all wrong because we don't want Vimeo to be in there. So Netflix and Gmail, and then go ahead and dupe this and get, oops, dupe that and get the tab after the index too. That's where we got nothing. And that might, is that what they want? They just don't want that +1. My repeating history here. Index. Just need to be like 1 element. 1. Probably needs to be like, it's the index, so it's going to be starting this.tabs.splice. Is splice mutated? Does it mutate? Mutable, does it say mutable anywhere? Nope, okay, who knows? Because that would be unfortunate if this is actually affecting this. Tabs after index, we have 1 tab after the index. The index should be set to 4, I think. That's what's weird though about this whole thing. Because kind of looks like this is mutating the tab object. Like what's actually tabs.splice. Let's see here. I bet you that's what's going on. Let's do tabs before colon this dot tabs. Tabs. Right, so tabs before. Yeah, okay, so look at that. It's Splice is basically taking this tabs thing. That's the whole point of this lesson here, is that it's showing how like this dot tabs originally equals these 4 objects, and because we're calling splice on it, it not only is giving us the tabs before the index, but it's actually destroying this dot tabs, so that like now, because we did this logic, when we get to the tabs after index, the index that we're looking for, which is 3, doesn't exist anymore, because now we just have Vimeo Vine, which really sucks. So I'm not sure, like, they didn't say explicitly they want me to do this. I think slice is the, is it slice? I think slice is the mutable or the immutable, meaning it doesn't mess up the other stuff. It just returns a value. Slice. Yeah. Right, so that's kind of a problem. So one thing we could do, I'm going to try and do this without using slice, because I kind of feel like they'll get to that. But basically what we could do is we could take, we could do var tabs before index equal, equal this dot tabs to get the current state. Then we do tabs before index equals tabs before index dot splice 0 index, and we might as well go ahead and do the same thing. Tabs after index equals this dot tabs after index equals tabs after index dot splice index 1. Okay, let's see, we're still missing some stuff, so I might still want to go log in around. And I do need to double check this, because I'm a little worried that it's still mutating this dot tabs. So I need to like double check and make sure that we're not changing anything. And then for the 50th time that I've written this, today, log this dot tabs. Oh, what am I doing? Make it an object. All right, so we've got the before, then we'll do the after. One more. After, before, after. Okay, so shoot, this doesn't matter either. So it's, I mean, geez Louise, this is why I personally just don't do this kind of, like, I feel like I rarely write code like that, because this is a pain in the butt. It's still mutating this dot tabs, even though the actual thing that I'm calling splice on is this var, which I would have kind of thought like, oh, when I call this dot tabs, say this variable equals this dot tabs, wouldn't work anymore, but it's still going through. So it's almost, I guess it's just a reference to this dot tabs instead of actually copying it, which is, oh man, it's so annoying. That is so annoying. And there's a lot of ways I can think of still outside of using slice that we could fix this, but I'm going to be super annoying because I want this to work in the imperative way, since we're trying to work through the pain of this anyway. I'm going to say, let's do this equals a new array, and then do a for loop. This is so stupid, but this is, I kind of feel like what they're getting at. For I equals 0, here, and I is less than this dot tabs dot, is it count? Is it length? I don't know. Length. This dot tabs dot. Why are you not giving me IntelliSense? I plus plus. And push the index. God, JavaScript's gotten so much better. It's so nice that like this is. I'm so looking forward to the next lessons after this, because this was really horrible. The fact that this is how it used to be. I don't know why anyone would want to do this. Okay, cool. So now we're getting somewhere because it's actually staying the same. We're initializing our tabs before index as a new array, pushing all of our stuff, basically creating a copy of it. And I had to manually create a copy of it because it's you can't just say like this equals that. And you can see that we have the same before, same after. So that's good. So we need to do the same thing down here. Tabs after index. So we need the same thing here. We need to do blah blah blah. Tabs after index. Oops, after index. Push. Set that equal to an array. Okay. Still mutating something in here. Kind of looks like it. Oh, yeah, we're still mutating right here. Taking the tabs that, huh. Console.log after. That's kind of weird. It's not like tabs. What's going on here? It's like it's not getting the values from this guy. Tabs before index just isn't giving us anything. What? Console.log, or am I just dumb and I just didn't? Oh, well that's my problem. No, something is not working here. Push this dot tabs. Is it because we're still mutating something? Oh, hang on a second. I'm an idiot. Probably. That's what's going on here. I always get these two confused because C# is different. Yeah, it's dot length. Dang it. Dang it. So dumb. There we go. That looks a little better. Yeah, fix it here too. Still missing out on Vine. So I gotta figure that out, but at least getting something here. Before this dot tabs. After this dot tabs. Oh shoot, something's still mutating it. What the heck is going on here? What's mutating it? Is it this guy? Probably. Console.log. Yeah. So that all stays the same. This dot tab stays the same. And everything gets all screwy when we concatenate. Tabs after index. Tabs before index. Netflix, Vimeo, then okay. So index for passing is 2. That's where I thought we would want to have 1. Vimeo tabs after index. Take the index. Vimeo and Vine. Index plus 1. I feel like I way overthought this as far as all this stuff goes. Yeah, that looks like it's right now. Let's get rid of all of our console logs. The essential in there. Okay, FB, get it ready, blah blah blah. New tab, Netflix, YouTube, Vine, Gmail, Workmail, Docs, FreeCodeCamp, new tab. Jeez, okay, so all of that. So really, yeah, the problem and the point they were just trying to make is that when you have a situation like this where you have a function that's modifying this external thing, you just create lots of problems for yourself because we were just removing stuff out of the array, and then the following thing was basically trying to access that and it couldn't. So let's go ahead and run the tests and make sure that works, and it does. Finally, moving on. Thank God. I'm so glad to not be doing that anymore. I feel like this will be a lot easier. Okay, splice change the original array is called on, so send call, right? Small example of a much larger pattern. You call a function on a variable, array, or an object, and the function changes the variable or something in the object. Okay. Build a code for a function incrementer so that it returns the value of the global variable fixed value increased by 1. New value. Your incrementer function should return a value that is 1 larger than fixed value. Let's see here. Are they still trying to get me to do and not alter any variable? Okay, well that's fine. So it looks like they still want me to like reach outside of it though, and do like return fixed value plus 1. So is that good? Okay. Pass arguments to avoid external dependence. Yeah, okay, so that's exactly what I was thinking on the last one. Cool. Step function, okay. To declare its dependencies, write the incrementer function so it takes an argument and then increases the value by 1. Yep, okay. So we'll take an int. We'll return an int plus 1. I just feel like functional programming, because this is kind of what I came up on. I feel like it's so much easier in general. Alright, so far we've seen 2 distinct principles for functional programming. Don't alter an object, don't declare function arguments. Rewrite the code so that global book list is not changed inside either function. The add function should add the given book name to the end of the array. The remove function should remove the given book name from the array. Okay, gotcha. Both functions should return an array, and any new parameters should be added before the book name parameter. Okay, gotcha. So I guess we can start here. Book list should not change and still equal. Yep. Yeah, so this is where there's a lot of really helpful array methods that you can use. I think I'm going to probably stick with just using, since they haven't gone over it yet, probably stick with just creating for each loops to do this. but it's dumb. I guess I'll actually just do that. For int I equals 0, should know how to do this by now, and I is less than book name dot length. What is the length? I think so. I plus plus, and so this is where we create a new array. And just call it output equals new array output dot push book name so yeah, we do have to actually take a second array for this, so we'll just call it array. Maybe I should just call it book list. And so we'll do output book list dot length, and I'm typing like I'm in C#. Okay, output dot push book name into output, and then and then we just take the output dot push return output. Cool. So we're just iterating through the book list as it stands, as it's provided, and then pushing. Oh, I need to do this. Actually, I need to do push the book list at that iterator. So we're creating a copy of it at this point, and then returning that copy with the extra book. Cool. And next up, let's see, new book list should equal. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, new book list should equal. Okay. Newer book list should equal remove. Okay, so we gotta fix this guy. So book list, and we can pretty much just copy this code right here. Right. Then we're actually reading off of this book list, so that's okay. Book list.index of book name if so we're going to splice the output of that in book, or splicing the output at that index instead of the actual book list, which should be fine. And I'm kind of thinking we're pretty much there. Let's see. Book list dot index of book name. If the book index is greater than or equal to 0, then we splice it out. Yeah. I'm going to go for that and see what happens. Yay. Okay. Let's use the map method to extract the data. This is a cool method. This is what I have wanted to use this whole time. Let's see what we got. Makes sense. Less than this function. Thing we store as variable. Okay. Cool. Alright, so let's see. Watch list variable should not change. Your code should not use a for loop. Your code should use the map method. And what are we doing? We're using the map on the watch list to assign a new array of objects with only the title and rating keys to the ratings variable. Gotcha. And your code below this line. Above this line. Yeah, so this is super cool. So we know we've got these ratings in here. I'm assuming that's what this is. No, that's a watch list. Oh, right, derp. So this is super cool. So look at all this code right here. We can actually just make this equal to .map, and then we'll use they're giving us the anonymous or the arrow function, so that's cool. So we'll call it rating or no, I guess it should be movie. And then, so this is kind of a weird thing, but we want to return an object. Actually, I think so. Oops. Wow, that's cool. It's giving me some intelligence on that. So we'll wrap our braces in bubbles, and then we can go through the things that they said, which were title and rating. And because this is ES6, we can actually just simplify and just use those two. That's enough. See what's happening, I think. Maybe not. Thought that was supposed to assign from the movie that's coming through, but maybe not. Let's try movie.title. Title. Do I really have to do this? That's weird. Rating. Wonder if there's a way to do that. I thought there. Rating. Title. Oh, hang on. Title. Rating. Get this out of here. What do you mean rating is not defined? Should just be returning an object, right? What am I missing here? Title, movie title. Let's start simple, maybe. Let's just return an array of movie title. Why is this? This must be a typo. Ratings. Why is that coming out like that? That's really weird. Dang it. Okay. That might have been working that whole time. Let's try it again. So title, rating. Title is not defined. Okay. That's fine. It wants to have some stuff. That's cool. Let's give it its stuff. Title. Something's not right here. Is it because I'm weird and I put rating instead of rated? Title and rating. Chasing a stringify. Rating should equal. Alright. I think this is okay. Rating. Oh, I see. I have no idea what I'm doing on this. I should read this more. There you go. Okay, now I got ratings. Is that gonna work? Yeah, cool. Alrighty. I just realized I've been like sitting up like this. I probably look like a doofus. Okay. Implement map on a prototype. Just a lot about map to try and implement a version of it that behaves exactly like array.prototype. That map with the for loop or array.prototype at each. Write your own array.prototype. .mymap should be cool. And use the for each method. Okay. New s.mymap. They give it a function, and they're returning the item times 2. Okay. Right. So the first thing that needs to happen is we need to get the current value of the actual array. I'm worried that we gotta have that somehow for this to work correctly. What's cool though, so we could take, I need to figure out how to get that. How do you get where is the actual array stored in an array object, JavaScript? This may not have been the best place to go. Go back to this. I saw something from MDN array. Here we go. Let's try this out. Potentially, it could also just log out the whole object.prototype. Here we go. Array.length.prototype. Array.entries, is that it? Not sure like what this is giving. Wonder what's a good way of testing this out. Let's see, properties on object JavaScript. Oh, maybe I just do it the same way. Get property names. Is it on? I don't know. Is an array just? Let's try it out. Let's see what happens when you do console.log. This dot get. What is it? Entries. Let's try that actually. Nothing. Okay. Let's try get on property names. Get on property names. The thing. That's not a function. Get on property names. Probably because it's on an object, on an array. This is a pain. So we need to get the values out of the actual array that's going to be calling this, and I've just never done that in this case where you have a prototype. Let's see if it's that simple. Is it just values? This dot values? No. Let's try adding function. Certainly someone has custom functions. Is it that simple? That's so dumb. I'm just overthinking this like crazy. Looks like I can just do, can I just do this dot length? Okay. So this 0, oops. Okay, I'm just being silly. Alright, so you can do this dot for each, and then you can take that and do a new array dot push x, oops, x, pushing x into that, and that'll give us a new array. And then actually we want to modify something. So what we'll do is we'll actually do push callback with the x in there, and run it, and we're good. So real fast. So basically we just needed to, I just didn't know you could do this, but this on array is just literally refers to the array of items. So you can use it just like you would if you had a reference to S and did that. So that's cool. Let's make a good next challenge. Okay. How far are we into this? Let's see if we've got a ways to go. We do have a little ways to go. Hopefully move a little faster, but I don't know. We'll see. Been moving kind of slow. Got stuck on a few of those. Okay, so we're going to talk about filter. Filter calls a function on each element of the array and returns a new array containing only the elements for which the function returns true. So if we wanted to get the users under 30, we would return user.age less than 30. We check these out and see, oh, John's an old guy, he's 34. Leave that there. Or return the Amy and the camper cat. Watch list variable should not change. You could use the filter method. Okay. So filter list equals, we're going to start the template here, watch list dot filter. And we want to return, what are we doing? Only good movies, basically. X dot IMDb rating is greater than 8.0. Cool. And then are we doing anything else in here? Filter test should equal title. Oh, gotcha. And they're also kind of double whammying by saying they need the results to come back as a map where we only return an object, and that object just contains the title, colon x dot title, and rating colon x dot rating. Oops, x dot rating. Oh, dang it. Did it again. Cool. That should work. Nice. Okay. Moving on. Implement the filter method on a prototype. Oh, cool. So we're doing the same kind of thing here. So now that I know, we're going to just go ahead and get this guy set up. Equals. Glad that they let me use this for each. That's kind of nice. And we're going to take the new array. I'm going to push. But we're going to do something here. We're going to place this behind a conditional and check the value of the callback. Oops. And those tests. What did I do? What did I do? Test should equal 2365. If callback. Should I not do that? Let's try that. Oops. I'm always paranoid about that. No. New array push. This dot for each. S dot my filter function item. Turn item with a modulus with a modulus of 2 remaining in 1. Why is this not working? Your code should. Yeah. Okay, what does it equal? Let's figure that out. Console. Oops, console.log. New array. Nothing. Callback. Return. So looks like, oh, hang on. There you go. Let's see, 2365.5. Yeah, that's my problem. Just forgot to give the value to the callback to actually evaluate it. There we go. Okay, returning part of the array using the slice method. So slice is the, like I was saying earlier, the non-crappy version of splice. slice method and slice array function to return part of the enum array. Okay, so what do they want? They want to return slice array should return dog and tiger. Begin slice, end slice. I mean, I guess this is what they want. End slice, end slice. Is that it? Yeah. That was easy. Remove elements from an array using slice instead of splice. Yeah. That's non-mutating, so we should do slice. Is that all at once? Should return Chicago. Delay Islamabad. Cool. Moving on, combining two arrays using the concat method. Concatenation means to join. JavaScript has a concat method. Here's an example. Cool. Original. I guess we'll just do return original dot concat concat attach. Good. Adding elements to the end of the array using concat instead of push. Alright. So instead of, not the functional programming way, array is changed. Without any mutating side effects. Okay. Push. All at once. Wow. Okay, now what do we got? Using the oh man, the reduce. I feel like I've always struggled understanding how to use the reduce method correctly. Reduce method allows for more general forms of array processing. It's possible to show that both filter and map can be derived as special applications of reduce. Reduce method iterates over each item in an array and returns a single value, i.e. a string, number, object, or array. This is achieved via a callback function that is called on each iteration. Callback function accepts 4 arguments. So the first argument is known as the accumulator, which gets assigned the first value of the callback function from the previous iteration. The second is the current element being processed. The third is the index of the element. The fourth is the array upon which reduce is being called. In addition to callback function, reduce has an additional parameter which takes an initial value for the accumulator. If the second parameter is not used, then the first iteration is skipped and the second iteration gets passed. So let's see how they're doing it here. So they want to collect the sum of the ages. So they add the function. They're using the sum as the accumulator and user as the array, I think. User.age, I guess, is the object that's being passed into it. And then they're saying, hey, take the sum. So the sum would start at 0 because they're initializing it at 0 and add the user.age. So let's see what we got here. The variable watch list holds an array of objects. Use reduce to find the average IMDb rating. Call prior changes, filter, map over. Yeah. Yep, okay, so first of all, we gotta get all the Chris Nolan movies out of here. So if our average rating equals, we'll take the watch list dot filter. See, this is, I don't like the way this is written because we're saying get rating, but we're actually only getting the ratings for Christopher Nolan movies. That seems weird. So, I don't know. I feel like there should be a parameter here for director or something, but whatever. for x dot writer. Is it a writer? Director, yeah. Director, oh cool. Equals Christopher Nolan. And does not look like we need to map out the data. I'm going to go ahead and do that though, because it's just easier being able to read. It makes it easier to read. So dot map. Should have just copied the snippets. Okay. Guess I didn't really need to use that map because it's gonna just return a number. Okay, so we take, remind me again, we've got our accumulator. See, this is weird because I guess I don't know how to do an average. Oh, right, we know what incrementer, that was one of the parameters. Let's see, reduce 4 arguments, first argument. The third is the index of that element. Cool. Okay, so we'll do movie and then I for incrementer. Cool. And what we'll need to do, I guess I can make that simple. We will be taking the ACK plus the movie dot rating divided by I think. Something like that. Movie dot rating divided by I. Is it I divided by movie dot rating? I don't know. Average rating, reduce. I mean, look up how to get the average. I thought it was like you add them all up and you divide by the total, but I don't see how you would do that with reduce. Get average reduce JavaScript. Stack Overflow. Oh. That's weird. Is there not like a... Okay, well. Yet again, I'm overthinking it. Because it looks like I just needed that. And then just divide that whole thing. Divided by the watch list dot length. Is that it? Not a number. Oh, it's because this isn't a thing. Well, maybe not. Movie.imdb rating. Oh, and I have to initialize it at 0, maybe. What am I doing? Accumulator equals accumulator plus the movie .mdb rating. And we're dividing the whole thing by the watchlist.length. What am I missing here? What happens if I just do that? Anything? Nan. MDB rating. Accumulator plus the, I mean, see, that seems to be exactly what they're doing. I've got the right property, and I'm giving it an initializer. But for some reason, I'm still getting nan. Get rating, watch list, return average rating. Oh, I bet you I have to do a parseInt on that. If I can remember how to do that. parseInt. Oh yeah, well, it should be fine. What the heck? Accumulator equals 0. parseInt on the IMDb rating. What? Oh. Dang it. Screwed my own pooch here. There we go. Okay. Burp, 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 burp. I definitely screwed myself there. I shouldn't have even had this. This is dumb. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't even need this map. I needed it like for 1 second to check that the data was good, and I could have totally been fine without it. Probably better off. Length. 6.6, man. Chris Nolan, dude. Sucks. Should equal 8.75. What? What? I should have known. But he was better than that. Okay, so starting at 0. Christopher Nolan. Is there something? Let's see. Directed by Christopher Nolan. Challenge filter and map. You may need other variables. And return the average rating. I don't think this matters, but average rating equals divided by equal. Can I just do like divided by equals? What's that length? Is that a thing? It is, but I'm still getting the wrong answer. Watch list dot length. Why is that changing here? Let's get rid of that for a second. Oops. So he's got 4 movies. So, what? Is that right? Christopher Nolan, director, writer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so he's got 4 movies. But something still isn't right. Should be adding these up. I don't understand. Oh, because I'm dumb. Parse float. Jeez Louise. Divided by watch list length. Divided by watch list length. Oh, weird. Still didn't matter. I don't get that. What's up with that? I'm really curious, like, is this working at all? 7.9 plus 8.3 plus 9.0 plus 8.6 plus 8.8. Huh, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one's James Cameron. I don't need this one. Divided by 4. It's 28.1. Oh, dang it. You gotta make sure this is evaluated first. Divided by 4. 8.6, right? Yeah, okay. So maybe I need to wrap this separately, or I don't know, let's see. If I do average rating divided by equals. What the heck? What the heck? Parse float. Is it because I have this thing on here? Is it actually not taking that? No. Sum of ages, 64. I don't understand. It's like not, is it not waiting for it or something? Parse float, Oh man, what's going on? Why is it want to equal 6.94? Director, Chris Nolan. IMDb rating. Let's see what else we missed. I'm wondering if there's just something else in here that I totally forgot about. Another element, third index element, the fourth is the array. Being called, in addition to the dang, I don't understand. Like, I just feel dumb being stuck on this. It does not seem like it should be this hard. I've got all the movies. I've got all the ratings, as far as I know. Maybe, what does average rating come back with? 34.7. What in the world? So it comes back in the same format. And, oh, you know what? What did I do here? Oh, man. Jeez Louise. That is so dumb. Wow. Yeah, that is really dumb. Do I need to... Yeah, I'm done with this. Go. So dumb. Forgetting to take the actual length of the filtered stuff. So dumb. Alright, higher order functions, map, filter, or reduce to solve a complex problem. Great. On to a complex problem. We have a defined function named squareList. You need to complete the code for squareList function using any combination of map, filter, and reduce so that it returns the new array containing only the source, containing only the square of only the positive integers. Decimal numbers are not integers. When an array of real numbers is passed to it. An example array containing real numbers is 3, negative 3, 4.8, 5, 3, negative 3.2. Okay, squareless to a function. Only positive integers. Okay. Only positive integers. And ignore everything else. Okay, so I think this is cool. I think this should be pretty easy. Length. We're going to return array dot, and let's start by, we don't need a map on this one, but we do need a filter. And I guess we will need a map after we filter, but we'll filter first. X, and so we'll just filter out negatives for now. X is greater than or equal to zero, I guess. I don't know how to check for decimal. Check for decimal number. JavaScript. Okay. Modulus 1. Yeah, okay, cool. Didn't know it was that simple. So, and I'm actually going to do this and x modulus 1 equals 0. So we get our whole numbers out of there. Great. And then with those whole numbers, we map them. Oh, dang it, I don't need to do that. Whoa. Map x dot, or I guess x times x, right? Yep, that looks good. Let's try it out. Oh, hang on. Nice, not too bad. Sort an array alphabetically. Okay, so I think, how are we doing? It's 9:30. I'm gonna go till 10. We've got a few more. What is that? 8 more? 8 more to go. I think I can do it. I think I can be done by 10. Hopefully a little sooner. Alright, so what are we doing on this one? We're taking JavaScript string Unicode point value. Gotcha. Therefore, it is encouraged to provide a callback function to specify how to sort. Called compare function is supplied. Okay. Turn A minus B. That's weird. Function. So can I just do r.sort or turn r.sort A minus B? Is that the same deal? ADC should return AA. Oh, that's cool. So, therefore, it's encouraged to provide a callback function to specify. For a function AB returns a value greater than 0 for two elements A and B, and B will come before A. Returns a value equal to 0 for two elements A and B, then A and B will remain unchanged. So it always helps me if I console.log on these kinds of things where I don't actually know what's going on here. Console.log. Alright, so did it do anything? ADCA. No, it didn't do anything. A minus B, take A and B and return A minus B. What if I just don't do anything? What if I just return sort? A, C, D. Okay. Not really sure what they mean by that. Adding a specific type of function in there. Return a sorted array without changing the original array. A side effect of the sort method is that it changes the... Oh, really interesting. Sort method changes the order of the original array. Okay. So... var new equals... I'm going to actually do let new, or let new. Let output equal an array dot concat with that, and then do output dot sort 2359. 2359. What did I do? Okay, undefined. Oh, because I didn't return my output. Dum-dum. There we go. Splitify. Split method splits a string into an array of strings. Takes an argument for a delimiter. Since strings are immutable, the split method makes them easier to work. Oh, makes it easier to work with them. Gotcha. Use the split method inside the splitify function to split string into an array of words. Well, the function should return an array. Note the words. Splitify. Cool. You can use regex. Nice. Alright, so what are we doing? We got go ahead and return str.split, and we want to return only the words. Right, so I think, oops, do a new little regex statement. Can I just do, how does this work? So it's taking, oh, I see. So we define what we don't want in it. So we don't want spaces. Hello, I am code. We don't want commas or that, right? Is that what you want? What else? Spaces. Is there like a special regex? Special characters. All right. All by console.log. Hello world, I am code. What is the problem here? Hello world, I am code. It's fine. What's wrong? Oh. This dot. Gotcha. Okay. What happens if we just do like word? Oops. Is that easy? Yep. Nice, that's kind of cool. Combine an array into a string using the join method. May the first boot you should return a string. May the first array should return. May the first boot. Okay, cool. So we return str dot split it, passing in our regex, which takes the word, and then we dot join it with the space. There's that. Cool. Apply functional programming to convert strings to URL slugs. URL slugs return. Okay. URL slugs, so we just need to add hyphens to everything. Is that it? So we're just returning the title dot. We need to split it. We're going to split by pulling out all of the spaces, I guess. And then we'll dot join it on a hyphen. And is there anything else about this? Oh, and we gotta lowercase it too. Title dot to lowercase. I think. Too lower. I don't know. So lowercase JavaScript. Pretty sure it's two. Oh, they capitalized case. What the heck? Should return. Oh my gosh. Okay. Should just by default put that in there because put the console.log in there. Winter eye coming. Oh man, it's because it has an extra space in it. Want to try that? Winter's coming, sure. What's going on here? Should return. Mine needs a book like a sword needs a whetstone. Should return. Mine needs a book like a sword returns a whetstone. Whoa. Oops. Console.log this guy out. I guess I have to actually put this in here. Mine needs store 9 books like this. Mind. That join. Wait, what? Mine needs. What? Why is this not joining? Title dot to lowercase dot split. That joins it the to lowercase thing? I don't think so. No, what the heck? How does that work? Are there 2 spaces in here? No. Weird. Split on all non-words. Are these like tabs or something? Or this is weird. is the deal here? What's going on? Title dot to lowercase dot split. Okay, so what? Split on space. What's the capture? Any white space character. 0 or more repetitions, yeah. So why does that not work? 1 or more repetitions. What? What is going on here? A mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone. What is? I just feel like I'm missing something here. Just coming. Render.s. Split on the space. That's supposed to be the same thing. White space characters. Dang, this one's really screwing me over. Split it on. I mean, don't understand why. Don't understand why. Like, this should match, but it doesn't. Oh my gosh, dude. Good grief. Because I'm like trying to look for strings. Weirdo. Winter is coming. Dang. Split on a space. Winter's coming. Yeah. 1 or more. Or no, 1 or more. Zero or more matches 0. Should match that, shouldn't it? S plus. I feel like. Oh, because it's 3. Some more. 1, 2, 3. So I'm having a problem getting my regex to pick up spaces. Let's see what we're getting here. This always helps. Enter is coming. Oh, interesting. I see. Wow. So it's splitting. Should have A spaces. But that's just because before it's joined, it's giving me all this extra junk instead of actually matching the pattern, which should be like S or S3. No, I don't get why that. I don't think that should matter. Need to have brackets around it. No. Not gonna matter. So maybe I just didn't understand this correctly. Let's go split regex JavaScript. Dang, I'm running out of time. I got 9 more minutes to figure this stuff out, and something tells me that it's going to be even more difficult later on. Split. Do I need to use a capture group? Is that why? This is so annoying. So that gets rid of my multiple space problem. I mean, can I just... So let me search for any length of the same character regex. See if maybe... Man, that is just nuts. What am I missing? I'm gonna go get a help on this, get a hint, because that's crazy. What am I missing here? one or more white space characters is the delimiter. So the white space characters are removed and the array only has non-white space characters. But I don't understand why that's not working. Split.filter. So they, okay. See, that's a good idea, trimming the extra space out of there. I like that. So, dot trim. Enter is coming. And they do. What? Two lowercase. What? How does that work? Title, trim, split. They're splitting with plus. Ooh, just a plus. Oh. No, what's going on? Ah, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. I forgot to put my join back in. Dot join. Cool. How close am I to being finished? Because it is 4 minutes till. So every method to check. Okay. Function where I use every method to check that every element in an array meets the criteria. Every method works. Yeah, okay. Check positive, return error dot every, and then we pass in a function, and we do x is greater than 0. Right? Check positive, return. Yeah, cool. Next up, check positive. Use the sum method. Okay. R dot sum x equals. Oops. Equals arrow x dot. Or x is greater than. Huh? 0. I don't know why I just totally spaced out. It's late and I'm tired. Should return true. Should return true. R dot sum. Is greater than 0. What? X is greater than 0. Check positive. I have 1, 2, 3. 1 is greater than 0. Negative 1 is greater than 0. Shouldn't matter because it's. Oh. Make things hard on myself sometimes. Function mode in. Oh, interesting. They're gonna get occurring. Is this the last thing? Okay. The arity of a function is the number of arguments it requires. Currying a function means to convert a function of in arity into in functions of arity 1. In other words, it restructures a function so it takes one argument, then returns another function that takes the next argument, and so on. Uncurried function would take two arguments and return them. Curried function would take the next function and return a function inside of that and add the two of them. What? And then it also shows how you can do that. Interesting. Here's 3. Huh. Okay. Useful for you can save each function call into a variable. I really want to understand this concept. I've wondered how currying works for a while. So, I mean, I kind of get. I'm just going to rush through this fast. Function y, function z, return x plus y plus z. Oh, wait a second, I already had the add there on the outer side. And you have to return each of these. X, Y, Z. Let's see if that works. Okay, I just want to look at this though. So, why do they want you to do this again? Simply a partial application can be described as applying a few arguments to a function at a time and returning another function that is applied to more arguments. So mPartial takes multiple arguments. Partial function with 10. Partial.bind this. Interesting. So it takes the actual function as one of the arguments. That's kind of cool. I feel like this is a kind of rushed thing though. Rushed lesson. Curried takes number 1 console.log function for y 2 Okay. I kind of understand this, but I still am not fully, and I don't fully understand why you would want to do this. Like, I guess it would just be, like, what do you get when you do console log add 10? Getting defined, right? So that's where it's like, you have to still have all these other arguments anyway. What's the point of this? I need to do some more research on this because that does not make any sense to me. I've seen currying used before. I've never understood it, and the FreeCodeCamp has not made this any clearer to me as to why we would use currying. So, whatever. Submit, and we're 100% complete with functional programming from FreeCodeCamp. So I'll probably be on this doing this for a little while. Next week, I might try to blow through some of these other easy ones because I think this intermediate algorithm scripting is going to be a little tricky and probably take a little longer. We'll have to see how long it can take, or how long it takes. So if you're still watching, if anyone's watching this, I'm sorry, this is super boring, and I don't know why you're watching this, honestly, but I will see you next week, even if I'm just talking to myself for 2 hours. Bye.